Že pro gameři, kteří byli zabanovaní. Za hlouposti prostě.
Does flying cars, space travel, and many other things that never came true. But instead, we now live in a world where people can get paid to play video games. However, like any other job, make one too many mistakes and you're fired. Today we are taking a look into the many times that professional gamers blew their opportunities by making certain mistakes. From players rage quitting on stage, cheating, and the usual person who loses their job over speaking their unpopular opinions. She said, men under 5'7" don't have human rights. But before we get into that story and more, today's video is sponsored by Dead Side.
Cože?
She said, men under 5'7" don't...
Kolik je 5'7"? Aha. 170 cm. Čili kdo máte pod 170, nejste člověk. Sorry.
Alright, getting things started.
Vasili. To mi něco říká.
We have to mention the story of Vasili. Vasili was a successful League of Legends player whose professional career was cut short due to continuous
Je ten, co zmátil svoji holku na streamu, nebo něco takového, ne?
behavior issues. From destroying his team's training room, to rage quitting on stage and knocking over equipment, the straw that broke the camel's back was when he got into an ugly dispute with his girlfriend on stream that led to him being arrested. By the next day, he was dropped by his team and suspended from professional League of Legends for 3 years. That suspension came to an end in 2020, but he was never given another professional gaming opportunity again. On April 6, 2021, the player Zeros from Vietnam was permanently banned for making an inappropriate comment on stream. So here's some context. Zero's team had recently been knocked out from qualifying to the international tournament MSI. Additionally, this was a time when a lot of things were getting cancelled due to the global pandemic. So, while being salty on stream, he said, quote, I hope that the pandemic situation gets worse so no Vietnamese team can go to MSI this year. Less than a couple hours later, the VCS, the league he was playing in, announced that the player would be permanently banned. Now this was definitely a heavy punishment just for making a bad joke.
If this was all he said,
Zajímalo mě, jestli to myslel jako vtip, nebo...
It's actually pathetic he got banned.
But allegedly, Zeros had already been warned and punished over behavioral issues within...
Aha. Používal učit svýho bráchy, aby hrál. Jo, jakože v Banu v prvním zápase za jeho chování. Že kontaktoval o druhý tým, nebo enemy tým, bez povolení svýho týmu. Jakože napsal do all chatu, nebo co? Co je to třetí, vole? Řekl, že Gam Esports, co jsou teďka mimochodem na vols, že neplatí, jo. Že neplatí, ale nemůže to dokázat.
The last year. Still, that would be the end of his esports career all over a bad joke. Now this next player wasn't joking. Tanukana was a professional Tekken player who was dropped from her team and sponsors over her opinions on men. Specifically on February 15, 2022, she was on stream ranting and she landed on the opinion that men under 5'7" don't have human rights.
Yikes, ale já mám 186, já mám lidský práva ještě.
She said this and ranted over other things that would probably get this video in trouble. However, she was inclusive. She also said, quote, women with A-cup-sized breasts also don't deserve human rights.
Cože? Cup-sized breasts? To záleží, jak velký hrníček to je, ne? To musí být hodně malý hrníček asi, ne?
お前本当胸の大きさだけだないいとこいいやん1個あったらそれでええやろなんかおっぱい見てけこの野郎
As you can imagine, her statements quickly went viral and actually went very international despite only having an average Japanese audience. It wasn't too long after that her team came out and announced that they don't agree with Tanukana's opinions and they dropped her from the team. Additionally, her sponsors also distanced themselves. Her opinions caused her to lose major sponsorships from big brands like Red Bull and Alienware. After this storm...
To je hodně blbý, no, že ty jsi takový pičony a... Jako, já nevím, no, jak to brát, že? Jak to brát tady to, jako nejsou to úplně dobrý vtipy, že se no, na druhou stranu, vole. Že jako, muži po 170 nemají mít lidský práva a ženský, co mají malý kozy, to je... A nevím, no, je to dost edgy, ale zase jako musíš tohoto říkat, fakt, ty jsi nějaká jakoby, já nevím, jsi Esport hráč nebo vole, internetová nějaká osobnost. Musíš tohle říkat, prostě musí, je to nutný, vole.
It seems she took a big break from competitive gaming and being a public figure in general. As of making this video, she actually only recently returned to live streaming, but hasn't participated in any pro gaming since being dropped by her team. Coming back to League of Legends, I Will Dominate was a player who
Že to ukončilo kariéru v podstatě, no, tady ty keci.
Received a 1-year ban from professional League of Legends back in 2012.
Ty vole, I Will Dominate, vím, že byl mega toxic, ale už nevím ani čím vlastně, čím se provinil tolik. A on tak on se pak docela napravil, že? Já vím, že měl 1 rok ban teda, a že se pak vrátil. A dneska už je spíš streamer, že?
This was one of the first pro players to be punished entirely due to their toxic in-game behavior. Riot stated that I Will Dominate had a persistent record of in-game harassment, verbal abuse,
SoloX byl toxic, no.
offensive language, and negative attitude. Riot would use this moment to clearly send a message that whether you're a pro player or not, being excessively toxic wouldn't...
Ocelot? Fucking cancer seriod trash. Ten typek založil Gamers 2 mimochodem, nebo G2 teda chci říct, jo. G2 Esports, jejich zakladatel, ano.
Be tolerated. Since then, many players have received suspensions and fines
vlastně už není jejich CEO teďka, no.
for their behavior in solo queue. Now, unlike the other players recently mentioned,
Starý Graves,
Dom did come back once his ban was lifted and had a successful career. But we can't say the same thing about this next player. In January of 2021, the Movistar Raiders signed Rapas Triste, a pro Valorant player that was openly cheating. On his first day with his team, he played 3 games and averaged 26 kills. This is quite exceptional and actually raised concerns from his own teammates who reported him to the team staff.
Ale proč vidí předzeď?
Then it was later confirmed that he was definitely using cheating programs and was later let go. This could be one of the fastest esports career speedruns ever. Now, staying on the same topic, cheating in esports is thankfully rare, but when it happens, it's definitely almost always career suicide.
Týpek má skripty a stejně se nechá trefit, to je blbec.
Optic Forsaken. This is perhaps one of the most viral cheating scandals, so we won't linger too long. The simple story is that Forsaken was participating at an international CSGO tournament, and he was caught cheating. After suspicious activity, they checked his computer and they found that he was hiding a cheating program disguised as a Microsoft Word file. This led to his team being disqualified and became the last game of professional CSGO that Forsaken would ever play. 4 months after the event, he broke his silence and apologized for what he did. But he also said, "If I could go back, I would probably delete the day I first played Counter-Strike. Nothing good has happened to me since the day I first played that game."
Podobně to je s LOLkem, že hoši?
Moving forward, we go
Blitzchung, no jo.
back to when the player Blitzchung lost his job over speaking his mind. During the 2019 Hong Kong protest, a professional Hearthstone player said "Free Hong Kong" in an interview after winning a major Hearthstone tournament. During that time, everything to do with Hong Kong was a touchy subject to major companies, as if they showed signs of supporting Hong Kong, they could potentially upset their partners in China and ultimately lose out on valuable market share. Blizzard was one of these companies. So to show
Jaký převlek, ty vole, ukaž to.
Blizzard was one
To
of
chci, kámo, vypadá dobře, že? Vypadá lity.
companies. So to show that they didn't support Blitzchung's comments, he received a pretty significant punishment. Making such political comments on the stream was apparently against a...
Co vím, tak to byl jakoby rozhovor s ním, že jo, a tam mělo to být prostě jenom čistě o Hearthstone, a on tam začal řvát Free Hong Kong, že jo. Což se jakoby nelíbilo Blizzardu, protože Blizzard je taky pod Tencentem, ne? A Tencent jakoby je, no, asi to bylo trochu Comanche, že jo, tak jako Čína. Taky tam nebude úplně svoboda slova z jejich strany a, no chápeš, no.
Set of tournament rules that the player had agreed upon. Blizzard would go on to suspend the player for an entire year of professional Hearthstone, and they would not award him the prize money he had earned. It was only thanks to the online outrage that...
A oni dokonce vyhodili i ty komentátory z nějakého důvodu. Pak je teda vzali zpátky hnedka, protože to lidi nasralo, ale
that Blizzard eventually did turn around and reward the player his prize money and reduced his ban to 6 months instead of 12. Then finally, this is arguably one of the dumbest ways to lose your job. This is Sor Carl, or Carl Lama today, a streamer and player who was signed to the esports organization SOAR. On March 5th, 2020, Carl would be on stream intoxicated, messing around with chat until he starts playing around with his gun. Seconds after revealing his weapon,
What the
he
hell?
proceeds to eviscerate his tub of G Fuel.
Say I ain't got money. Say I ain't got money.
Jede t***vanej.
God damn.
The best part is
Kámo, proč prostě... tyhle ty lidi mají zbraně prostě dneska, kámo. Kde to žijem? Kde to žijem?
God damn.
the best part is that after pulling the trigger, he is genuinely shocked at the result of his actions.
What the fuck? I swear to God, I just emptied the mag!
Now, obviously, shooting a firearm inside of your house with no direction is highly dangerous and not something you should do, especially not while drunk. So for this mistake that Carl made, he was banned on Twitch and was dropped by his esports organization. They tweeted, "We do not condone..."
Teda jako nevím, jakou hru ani hrál, jo, ale je to teda taky nějak, no, snad to říct.
The actions on livestream by Carl last night. He has been removed from the SOAR Gaming roster. Can't believe he shot the G Fuel. So now you know what to avoid if...
Ty vole, jak se jmenuje, PewDiePie by byl kdyby to viděl, no, s tím G Fuelem.
If you ever become a pro gamer. And with that being said, if you're still watching, only 11% of you are subscribed.
Já jsem. Já nemají like. Dobrý videjko, no, dobré. Zajímavý, jako o polovině těch případů jsem slyšel asi zhruba, no. Některý pro mě byli nový. Zajímavé, jdem hrát asi, no, teda.